If you can do it, they can do it. Like, that's no disrespect to you.
Yeah.
But to see you do it, I'm like, yo, she killed it. Anyone could kill it. So I'm going to need you to break it down for them just so they could see, like, yo, you can lose it too. And you're about to do it again with 2 kids.
I miss mommy.
How come you are out of shape again?
I mean, I'm not going to blame it on my last pregnancy, but I worked out hard to go from 210 pounds all the way down to 135. But when the baby comes out and I'm still holding on to the extra weight, it gets sad. So I got myself to believe in the excuse that I'm, postpartum. And so I deserve to relax.
You know what? I get that. I'm even able to believe that mothers who are nursing, like, they should hold on to extra body weight because the baby's gonna strip you of your nutrients. But like you said, you're gonna lose it again. You're gonna do your thing. Wait, did you say you're gonna lose it again?
I will lose again, yep. Before I start, though, I will say this. If there's anything that anybody will take out of this, like, if there's one thing that should stick is consistency.
From your perspective, number one, I don't have time to exercise. Like, is that true? Like, you got to spend hours in the gym to get in shape?
No, it's not true.
So when you lost the 70 pounds, you weren't spending hours in the gym? 32, 2 more. 33, 34.
I was. But I had the time. At the time, it was realistic for me.
So if you did it with the hours, what make you think you can do it without the hours in the gym?
Because you could still get an effective workout. There's other things that factored into, like, why it wasn't just me going to the gym for hours. There are other things that are just as important or more that will help you get to your goal. That, you know what I mean? So me, I had the time, so I felt like, oh, I could do a little bit more. You know what I mean? I was motivated. I could do a little bit more. So, but the reason why I say it's a myth is because a lot of the times you won't have that time. And if you are going to think like, I need 2-3 hours to be in the gym to lose weight,
9, 10.
most likely you're not even going to try to step foot in a gym or work out, because it's like, I don't even have the time, so why even try? And what I'm trying to say, there's so much you can do that's effective in less than an hour to get a good workout. So now I'm doing workouts that can last me like 15 minutes, and I wake up the next morning and just, you know what I mean? Like, if it feels good.
You haven't lost 70 pounds yet, right?
No.
Why is that?
Well, for one, like, I'm not really meal prepping my meals, you know what I mean? And I'm not getting the sleep that I need.
Just stay there, because the stuff you're saying is right. You can actually get into the same shape you was in when you lost all that weight with the little workouts. It's just, if you incorporate all of the things you're saying right there, yes, exactly. I know once you start writing your stuff down and you plan, I know for a fact you're always successful once you do that. Myth number 2, lifting weights will make me bulky.
No, it won't get you bulky unless you want to be bulky, but lifting heavy weights is not going to make you bulky. Your body's going to transform. It's going to look different. But if your goal is to get bulky, there are steps to that. You're going to eat more. You get bulky because you want to get bulky. When I was trying to build muscle, I had to eat.
Thank you. You hurt a little bit too. Yeah.
In order to build muscle, right? But then when I was eating on a caloric deficit and when I was losing weight, my bicep might show out. You know what I mean? Muscles will show more because the fat's melting, but it wasn't making me bulky. My body just was transforming. I had more of a fit look than a bulky look.
So how do you feel about one size fits all?
If you're somebody who's just like, I just want to get fit, yes, that would be perfect for the person, you know what I mean, who just wants to stay active and just wants to be fit. But for the person who has a certain way they want to look. I want my body to transform in a certain way. It has to be a tailored program.
Yeah, I feel like one size fits all. I feel like no matter what, you're gonna have to alter it because maybe you can't do 20 reps. Maybe you have to like fix that and check it to 10 reps. So every workout is gonna have to be altered. So I agree with everything you were saying, and I feel like you can get results with a one size fits all, but it would benefit you to just alter it and get it transformed for you. I can target fat loss in specific areas. Do you believe that's possible?
No, that's not possible.
Yeah, fat loss occurs throughout the entire body.
If I'm eating consciously, that fat's gonna we'll lose that fat.
So you can't really say, you know what, let me lose fat on my shoulders. You can't really do that. You can influence how your shoulders will look by putting on muscle, but you can't really target it. Doing crunches and stuff like that, all it's doing is building muscle. It's not going to remove the fat for you. Now, here's another one. I should avoid strength training. It's unsafe for me. What do you think about that?
I think any type of exercise can be unsafe if you don't have like the proper training or knowledge of how to use like equipment or how to do an exercise.
What do you recommend to somebody who's just starting fitness, who really don't know what they're doing?
Well, first consult with your doctor to see if it is something that you're able to do. And then two, if you have the means to like get a trainer. I know a lot of gyms have like,
Consultations?
consultations and packages where they, deals, and I would suggest like actually speaking to a trainer. Have that initial conversation with you, do a test, and go over some, you would essentially be telling the trainer on what you would want to work on. Like, I want to be able to come to the gym and work with machines, or I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and they will tailor their program to fit that need. You know what I mean? So if it's like I want to know how to use these machines, they'll be the ones to like go over that with you, show you how to do an exercise properly. Now with all this technology, like everything is at the palm of your hand. So you can literally go on YouTube, watch a video on how to deadlift properly.
So hit that subscribe button. We'll do demonstrations to show y'all the right way to do it, because safety is number one always.
Yes.
Which will bring me to this myth. I'll respond to this myth. I need to stretch before workouts to prevent injury. Research shows stretching before your workouts does not reduce injury. So if you're going to work your shoulders, you may do shoulder smacks, you may do circles. You just want to do a dynamic warm up. The next myth. Fats will make me fat. I'll let you speak on that.
No, because there are healthy fats that are good for you. So like things like avocados, nuts that you could be eating. No, fat doesn't make you fat. It's not eating in a caloric deficit and just eating more than what you're giving out energy wise and being sedentary is what makes you fat.
You've lost good weight on keto. So keto is essentially high fats and low carbs. So yeah, fats do not make you fat. I know people who do not work out and did keto and lost weight. So don't believe that myth that fats get you fat. It's not true. Sugars will get you fat. Yes, carbs is sugars. So be careful. Fats do not get you fat. And like she said, especially the healthy fats, is really good for you. I want to switch gears. We have to dumb down fitness and simplify the approach so people could understand. Now, when we're starting, we started small and consistent. How would you recommend a person start fitness who's just beginning?
Again, like probably speaking to someone that knows what they're doing, like a trainer. I think walking.
Taking a walk on this nice day with my family. Got an 18-pound vest on. Feeling good after our workout this morning.
If you're able to walk, do as much as you feel like you can. When you're starting off fresh, do as much as you think you can, again, and if it's realistic. If you're not used to walking, don't think like, oh, I should walk an hour. Oh, I should walk 45 minutes. maybe not even 30 minutes. If you are starting off fresh and you're somebody who pretty much has an office job and you're always sitting down and you do not live an active life, I would suggest going for shorter walks. So maybe starting off 10, 15 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be every day. Um, and be consistent with that until you think, all right, I can do more.
And even with the doing more, during your walks, if you were doing 5 minute walks, continue doing 5 minutes. But now what you do is every 20 seconds, you're going to walk faster. And then you're going to slow down for 10 seconds, faster for 20 seconds, 10. But you want to stay with the same time, but just do something that challenges you within that time.
Mhm.
Build that because it's going to help your heart rate and all of that.
So yeah, I would definitely walk and then gradually start to increase, or maybe increase momentum or speed, like you mentioned. Again, get a trainer and maybe do some strength training. But I mean, it just takes time to build up to that. So, like you said, even flexibility, stabilization, that I think is important.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's something that you should definitely work on. Because it is going to only help you when it's time to do like the heavy lifting and, adding other things to your workout routine.
Let's say you're doing a 20-minute walk. You could break it up 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, stop and do lateral leg lifts, like maybe 5 to 10 times. Do each side. This way, it'll get your hips feeling right, your knees feeling better. And if you have ankle issues, it will help you there too. Make sure you do that because that's a lot of our issues come from our hips. So do stuff like that every 5 to 10 minutes. Stop and do something. Maybe squats, 5, 10 squats. But do these type of things. It will help your body get into proper alignment. So start extremely small and pick something reasonable. Like she said, it doesn't have to be every day. If you do it every other day, just make sure you stick to it. So if you know you're not going to be able to do every other day, hey, I'm just doing it 2 times a week. If it's only one, but stick to that schedule
Hmm.
for at least 3 weeks just so you can start getting into the habit and the routine. Now, with the core pillars, right? When it comes to time to dumbing down fitness, how do you feel about rest?
Rest is important. At first, I thought I could work out 5, 6 hours and be able to work out. You know what I mean? And now I see now how important rest is. I literally can feel, and because I also have 2 kids now, so a lot of my energy is used with them. I literally feel exhausted, exhausted. Um, Even if I get like 7, 8 hours of sleep. So imagine if I got like 4 or 5 hours and go, work out. It's just going to, you're more prone to get hurt, maybe even prone to like stop working out because eventually you get to a point where you need to sleep and it's like, all right, I can miss a day here because I need to catch up on sleep. And then the next time comes and it's like, I can skip today because I'm tired. Like, okay, I need this whole week to like just catch up on my sleep. And then all of a sudden, like you're stopping. Also, you are more prone to overeat or eat things that might give you a sugar rush to give you some, you
Quick
know,
energy.
quick energy. So you put those things into consideration and it's not worth it.
That's why I had you talk on rest real fast because, like, I believe if people focus on the core pillars, they're gonna get it. Rest. You know how you hear abs are built in the kitchen?
Yes.
I believe the body's built in the bedroom is when we're resting because that is where your body's built in itself. When you're in the, what is it, rapid eye movement, the REM sleep. When you're in REM sleep, that's when your body is building itself. So the rest, like you said, you just broke it down how tired you are. If you're going to begin fitness, focus on your rest first. Like set it in your calendar, do what you got to do, but stick to your schedule for at least 3 weeks. Once you have it all situated, then you move on to the next thing, which is still easy. Work on your mobility next. After that, work on your heart because you need to be able to lift the weights, which will be coming next. After the hearts, hit the weights. It's going to help you with the bones, getting your bones to be more dense, like where, as we age, osteoporosis, it's hurting a lot of people, especially the females. And we need to just stick to that: rest, mobility, cardio, strength. Once you prioritize those, you're good. And that's what I try to focus with you. But it's not just rest, mobility, cardio, strength. I also wanted us to like fix your body, like rehab, like how you've been sitting or like you've been squatting incorrectly and this and that. So we tried to like find the imbalances to fix you right. And I feel like you did, you were just so thorough with the, if if you were given an assignment, you stuck to it. So just got to give you your kudos here and there. That was good work. Now, another thing people got to do to dumb down fitness, hey, you just got to get nutrition, like get basic nutrition information. Once you get it and understand, like, okay, I'm gonna have this much protein, this much carbs, just stick to it. You could just eye test it. I feel like that will help you because in the beginning, you're not gonna, babe. You know how you were sticking to sketch, like measuring everything, this and that. Do you
Yes.
really feel a beginner? And I'm not, maybe like you, maybe not like you, someone who's new to fitness, when you were fresh to fitness, do you believe you would have been able to handle all of the measuring? Like, if you would, please say like yes. But if not, do you think you'd have been able to handle all of that measuring, being like accurate, knowing like that I got 30 fat left for the night? Like, would you be able to do it? You think?
If I was like starting,
Fresh, like a beginner.
I think every in the beginning, especially when you don't have experience, everything is so overwhelming. I don't think that would really be too beneficial for somebody who's just fresh and beginning. I think it could just be a little overwhelming for me because I had some previous experience. Like I did a program where I had a meal plan I had to follow. I had to document what I was eating, and I had to, measure everything. So I was, once I learned how to do it for me, it became something easy, and it didn't seem time consuming. A lot of the times I hear people complaining about meal prepping or measuring, not even just the prepping part, it's the measuring that can be overwhelming. And for me, I felt like, oh, it's just quick. Like I knew what I was going to eat. I measured it, when I was putting it on my plate, and I was about my business. You know what I mean? I think somebody starting off should probably just not do, they shouldn't measure their food. I think that's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah, what I would recommend is if you're going to do anything, just find something that keeps you consistent when it comes to your nutrition, where it's I have my fats, I have my protein, and I have my carbs. Once you find that, just stick to it, measure everything else. Here and there, use the scale, use something that a tape measure that can go around your arms, around your waist, around your chest, measure your body. Like, we're gonna have to move on though to
Mhm.
pain points. Um with feeling overwhelmed with, with fitness. What would you recommend for the people that feel like there's just so much out there? I know you've been recommending talking to a professional, but let's say a person can't afford a professional, right? Like, where do they begin if they're feeling overwhelmed? Like with fitness, like they don't have time to work out. They feel like the kids driving them crazy. They got to find meals for their kids and their time is really short. What would you recommend?
I would recommend do what is going to help you stay consistent. And like I had mentioned before, there's so many apps and like for instance YouTube where you can get a lot of information and start from there. And again, like I said, start off with just walking and then move on to the next thing. But whatever is going to help you stay um, consistent, just do that. Anything that's going
Yeah,
to help you be successful.
whatever it is. And I would say what we did is very simple. I'll just outline it real fast. We walked. After the walking, you doing body weight exercises at the park. After the body weight exercises, you started hitting the weights and this and that. And but you were killing the measuring foods. Like you were really, and you know what else too? Not only were you measuring your foods and doing a good job there, you also had certain snacks that you started becoming comfortable with where you were looking forward to them. So having like little healthy desserts or snacks, like not snacks, but you know what I mean, at the end of
Yeah.
the night, having those, like, was that very helpful for you? Like how like
Yes, because I felt like I found an alternative to what I was craving, you know? Those were the times when I was craving something. So it's like, well, before I go to bed in a couple of hours, let me eat something that I could. I enjoyed everything I ate, don't get me wrong. But, there's some those times where it's just I wanted something more, like something that can remind me of cake, but not necessarily, it's not cake. And I found I found what worked for me. And it did help me become successful because I think a lot of the times, like when I'm not watching what I'm eating, it's, oh, I could really go for a chocolate bar right now.
for the people that feel like they have limited time and they're just like confused, there are workouts like HIT, which is a high intensity interval training.
Hmm.
There's Tabata. Tabata's like 4-minute exercises. There are so many variations that you can use where you can multitask and do certain things while you're with the fam. If you don't have time, if your time's limited, just get something short here and there. Like in prison, they're doing little workouts consistently. They're not sitting there using weights and they're looking jacked and in shape. So just do little workouts here and there. But fear of failure, a lot of people have that issue. So like how do you feel when it comes to the fear of failure and how, like what is it that cripples you?
For me right now, it's not even the fear of failure already has happened. It's happening. You know what I mean? It's I'm constantly failing. I don't feel like once I start, I won't be failing because eventually I'll be consistent and I'll get to where I need to be because I know what I need to do. It's just for me, it's like I got to do this all over again. And it was hard work. And like I say, measuring food for me was not hard. And it's still not hard when I think about it. But you're, especially those first couple few weeks and months, you consciously you are being intentional on what you're doing. Like, I have to do this. You know what I mean? It's so hard when you get over that hump, like the hardest part where it could be a plateau or it's like, all right, I've been doing this for a while now. And it's just the thought of, I have to do this again.
Yeah, but if it's not hard, you said it's not hard a couple times. If it's
Hmm.
not hard to measuring the this and that, then what is difficult about starting?
A few things. It's the lack of motivation, but the lack of motivation comes to the shame, the guilt that I'm feeling because it's like I have to do this again and I've already done this. And it's like why I should have known better. I did know better. So why did I let myself get to that point? You know what I mean? So I think it's just
You're saying you didn't know like you was gonna get yourself into that same situation though?
that
I
wasn't the
like
plan. Let me tell you something. When I did gain weight during my second pregnancy. You know what I mean? So I thought I was going to do things a little different this time. I really believed that. And I was thinking about this earlier. Like time just for me just seems to fly by. You know what I mean? There's always like I got to start tomorrow, I got to start tomorrow, I got to start tomorrow. And before you know it a whole year has passed. And now you're worse from the first time you said I have to start tomorrow.
but how's that possible though?
It just life just go like I had a second child, you know what I mean? And I feel like there was more on my plate, obviously. Of course, there's going to be. I just got consumed with life and I was just tired, you know what I mean, all the time. So it just made it harder to start because it was just struggling to start because I'm so tired, you know what I mean? Um, but the feel of failure is just like I think a lot of times when people are trying to lose weight, getting into fitness, it's I think for many people have tried before and they've failed on certain diets. So, and I think everybody knows how hard it is. I don't think people look and say, "Oh, like that's easy work." Because if that was the case, we'd all be like in shape. Um, it's just, I think everybody knows how what it takes to get there. Like it's no, it's no walk in the park. And I think,
True.
you know what I mean? So I think that holds people back because it's like, am I really ready for this? Because mentally, in the beginning, it's going to be hard. So it's just like, am I ready for this? Am I, for me, what I feel right now is a lot of the guilt. You know what I mean? Like the guilt in, and a lot of things. The guilt in, I did this again. So like all that, I feel like all that hard work, I just threw it out. You know what I mean? It's almost like, do I enjoy torturing myself? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do this again. Like I did this again.
Yo, I'm getting all right. I'm starting to feel like if a person's really out of shape, they gotta feel worse than I feel. Where
Every single day, I'm like, I have to get serious. Like I have to meal prep. Like I think the part that's missing for me is, I mean, there's lots of parts, but I think one of the big parts is preparing my meals and just sticking to that. Like, do not buy anything outside. Do not eat anything that's not on your meal plan. This is what you need to be eating. Everything that you prep is what you need to be eating in order to get successful. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
dude.
So it's like it's
Yo,
every day I'm just like, I need to get serious. Like I need to do so, and it's like it, and I know what I need to do. You know what I mean? So it's not like this is the first time I'm doing it. I know what I need to do. People remind me all the time when I'm like, "Oh, I need to lose some weight." You got this. Your bounce back game is like good, and it's like, "Yeah, but why am I not doing it?" You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. Every night before I go to sleep, especially if it's like a day that I'm working from home or a weekend and I'm like, all right, I will put my alarm. I will set it at a time where it's just like, all right, before the kids wake up, I can get a workout in. And that will set the tone for the day. Cuz I do feel like sometimes like if I prep, I have everything that like I need for the next day, and if I work out in the morning, I feel like it sets the tone for like how I'm going to like go about my day, where it's like, all right, you're going to make a point where at midday when they go take their nap, you'll go outside and you'll walk for like 20 minutes around the neighborhood, or like you're going to make better choices when it comes to food. But the alarm goes off and I press snooze because I wake up and I feel like a sticker. I feel like somebody needs to peel me off the bed sometimes. That's how exhausted I am sometimes.
that's sad.
Where I feel like really tired. I feel like, you know what I mean? And there are times when I can just like get up and just, because I do it every day to go when I have to go to the office, right? But it's like, I have to go. Like I have, it's also that mindset, like I make myself seem like I have a choice on whether or not like I work out. I should, I wish mentally I could be like, no, I don't have a choice. I need to work out. Or I don't have a choice. I need to eat what I cook, you know? With work, it's like,
Yeah,
well, even with my health, I have to think of my family because you guys could essentially lose me because I'm not taking my health serious. With me, it's just like I have to go to work because like I have to go to work.
that's terrible. Like you're not prioritizing your health. It's gonna take me to a pain point that a lot of people have with their physical limitations. What I would want to say is if you have any physical limitation, like I said, whether you just gave birth, you just had a C-section, um, you had gastric bypass surgery, you have an injury, whatever it is, what you'll have to do is take it slow. Do not just go into like, yeah, you're still hurt. I used to do that. I'm still hurt and I'm trying to work out. If you're injured where you really cannot work out, calm down, but make sure you just do something small. If it's just getting up and down, like standing up, sitting down, just do that maybe 10 times a day until you start building your strength and gradually get back to the workouts. But don't jump right back into it. Don't jump hard. If you're injured, use machines. Don't try to use free weights and do anything crazy. If you're old, like I'm feeling, use machines, but stick to machines because physical limitations is something that's keeping a lot of people from working out. If you're pregnant, you can still work out. You just have to be very careful. But come on, guys, don't let people tell you certain things like, oh, you could just take 30-minute walk. Like she said earlier, 30 minutes may be too long. Like we don't understand that our feet sometimes can get injured from walking too much. So like take it very slow. And I'm gonna wanna before we wind down, I'm gonna wanna get to what every plan needs to have, like certain steps that every plan needs to have. And you can add into it. Um but a simple step-by-step guide on how to start your fitness journey, incorporate family and community. To me, I believe that's extremely important. Where like she's saying, it's hard for her to wake up, food prepping. So me as part of her community, I have to find a way where can make that easier for her. Like, we have kids. There's something I'm gonna have to, okay, should I put the kids to sleep earlier? Should we, like, we got to find a way to make this work. It's a community. It's not just her thinking. We have to think collectively. So you need to incorporate your family. I don't know if to you if that's important or how you feel about it, because it seemed like you try to do things on your own, but I believe other people should incorporate their family and make sure they have a strong community.
Yeah,
Now,
it's important.
yes, setting realistic, attainable goals is extremely important. Now, a lot of people may say don't have goals because you're sticking to something that you don't really have that much control over. But if you do have goals, have a strategy on how to get to that goal and stick to that strategy every morning. Every morning you wake up, look at that strategy and do what it says because that's what's going to get you to your goal. So you want to set something realistic. You don't want to think like, oh, I'm going to, like she said, go for an hour walk. That may be way too long. So, set something realistic and attainable. And lastly, I would say track your progress. If you inspect what you expect and you like stay consistent where you're really monitoring it, you will get your results. You will look at yourself and like, wait, did I lose 70 pounds too? Yes, you did. So I don't know if you feel like there's another step to that where I just feel like it's community, it's setting realistic goals, and it's tracking it. Would you like to add anything to that?
I would say, like I said in the beginning, consistency. Even if I'm still not eating that great or whatever, be consistent and like take those steps and then work on your nutrition and be consistent. Like once you are consistent, you have a plan, you have a system, it is easier to stay on than to fall off because it's a pattern. It's you're consistent, once and it takes time to build that. But throughout this whole process when I lost over 70 pounds two times, it was because I was consistent that I was successful. Just
Okay.
remaining consistent with whatever you choose to do when it comes to living a healthier lifestyle. Just remain consistent. And then I think it's a domino effect, you know.
Now, can you speak directly to those who doubt themselves? Like, is there any motivational example or practical tip that you can think of that would help them, keep going? Like when they feel like the results seem low or slow?
I said in the beginning and I just said it just now. Just stay consistent. If you are taking the proper steps, like you are not going to see results like as quickly as you think. You could be doing things like to the T and it could be like week 4, but you might only be stepping on the scale and not see the number go down. That is not the only tool like used for success. So I would just say like just remain consistent. It will come. Like I think it's really hard in the beginning because you have to keep that momentum, you have to keep that motivation. I think you get to a certain point And it could be like 8 weeks, it could be like 10 weeks, and it seems like it's so far. But I think you have to also remember, like, you might have like a goal weight, you might have uh you might have a picture painted of what you want to look like. If, okay, I lost 50 pounds, this is, what I would like to look like. If you're already making better choices, so like if you were somebody who was sedentary and you are now walking every other day, or you are now cooking your meals and eating that and not ordering out, if you are already making better meals or making better decisions, you will see the results. The results are going to come. It's going to, it just takes time. Like, trust me, I've done this multiple times, and it was hard work. It was not easy. Anybody tells you, oh, you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days and it's easy, and it is going to be hard work. But if you are already making better decisions, health wise, fitness wise, like, just remain consistent. It will come. And then when it comes and you see it, it's going to motivate you more, and then you're going to keep going, and then you're going to see more changes, and you're going to see more transformation, and then things get a little easier, and then you have that momentum going. You're most likely not going to want to stop. So just, if you're just making those better decisions, like, that's good enough. Just keep going.
Yeah, if you don't stop, you're gonna get it. And I want to say, when it comes to fitness, I feel like it helped me positively as a father, because I don't know. There's times I even look at my sons. I look at them, and I'm like, even though they have a little, a little bloated stomach here and there, I just look at them and I know of other people's kids who are older, right? Like, I'm talking about like a few years older, and I see how they're so unhealthy. And I look at my boys, our boys, and I'm like, I can see, like, I don't believe they're going to get there. I believe, I believe I love fitness. I believe, like, it's always on my mind. And I feel like that's like, it's literally always on my mind. So I love that it allows me to set a positive example for my family, because I just look at certain people and I just feel sad for them, where I'm like, yo, like, you're the head of your family, and like you're not even trying to like live longer for them. Like, even Big Pun said, I'm trying to live. So it's like, it just gets sad. So I feel good when I'm like, yo, I'm at least this far, and I want to be able to help people who want to help their family. People who feel like, oh my God, yo, I could get a heart attack any minute. People that struggle to get out of bed because they're like, oh man, I may like pull my back out. So I just feel good. I'm not there yet, but we're getting older, so we got to take things serious. Like, I would love to know though, how do you feel knowing, you were successful in your fitness journeys, and knowing like you want to get there for your kids? You say that oftentimes, like, you want to make them proud, this and that. How do you feel about fitness in a positive light when it comes to being an example for your kids?
I and it, I've always said this. I think it all fitness for me in the past has always helped me with my mental. Like, going to the gym was like the break. Like, it was just a mental break. I have list of things that I need to do, but when I was in the gym, I was there to work. I was there to work on myself, and I was getting stronger, I was getting better, and it was it was like the therapy that I needed. And I know it sounds cliche because a lot of people say that, but I truly believed it. Like, it made me feel good. I felt energized. I felt I was making healthier choices, and I it just it felt good. And I feel like, as a parent, like, I think a lot of us, we might not work on that. And I'm not even just talking about going to the gym and working out. I'm talking about just even the mental work. Sometimes we don't create we don't give ourselves that space to work on it. I feel like we're on autopilot a lot of the times. So when I was able to allow myself to like work and do what I needed to do, um, I feel like it helped with my mental. And you work on your mental and you're feeling better, you're feeling good. It's only going to make your life easier. Like it's going to make your life better. If you're a parent, it's going to let you're going to be a better parent for it. Like hopefully your habits will be carried on by your children. They see you work out, they want to work out. My son, my husband, you train our son.
6 down. 7. All right, stop there. You can stop. That's good. We'll stop at 7. All right. I stopped because it's his core. You could see he was weakening there. So instead of doing multiple sets, I'm gonna just stop right there.
And even when you're not around, like you can be in the office or you could not be there, and he's like, "Want to exercise?" Like when and I'm like, "Oh, gee, I have to go work out." And he's like, "Want to exercise?" And he wants to do it. Like I'll be doing something and he'll be standing next to me and he wants to do it too. So we set an example for our children. They're always watching, and it's only going to help them create better habits as they get older.
Just to recap, we have to simplify fitness for it to be something that we're successful at. We have to simplify it, make it as easy as possible, because that's the only way you'll really be consistent. So simplify fitness. We bust through some of those myths that you may have believed that may have kept you from working out. Don't believe them. Myths doesn't benefit you at all. So if you hear it, it doesn't matter to you. Don't believe it unless it gives you inspiration, motivation. But myths are no bueno. And you gotta take practical steps to get in shape. There are a million like pieces of advice. Like just like she said, just go for walks. Just start with walks. On your walks, just start incorporating little things. And like I said, hit the subscribe button because we have little mini workouts here and there. We do little tips and tricks to trick yourself into burning more calories than you believe, you know, you're burning. So hey, it's now. Like we got to get in shape now because the older we get, we're going to get complacent and feel like, I'm old anyway. What's the point? No, it's not true. You're not old yet. Until you're just a memory, you're not old. There's a popular study that claims that people that are able to do 40 straight push-ups are at a 96% reduction for heart disease. 96% reduction for heart disease if they can do 40 straight push-ups. If you can't do 40 straight push-ups, please hit that subscribe button. Babe, can you do 40 straight push-ups?
No.
She lying. Oh no. All right, see y'all tomorrow.